Look, my friend, you keep going back to this argument because you're avoiding the kernel of the point. Restructure Nigeria, and let's go back to the arrangements that we had at independence. Let the states and the regions have sovereignty of their natural resources. Let them control education. Let them control development of infrastructure. Leave the powers of external relations, external defense, immigration, customs to federal government. And let the regions compete. And we will need the presidency of Nigeria in the Southeast. We had the first iron and steel complex in the whole of Nigeria in the Southeast. We developed it. We've built the first indigenous university in Nigeria, considering that University of Ibadan was a campus of the University of London. But we built the first indigenous university. We attracted world-class professors like Professor Glenn Taggart. Nsukka was booming. It had international reputation. We built the second brewery in the whole of Nigeria after Nigerian breweries for Golden Guinea. We built the first gas complex in Yemen. Look, my friend, when you're thinking 20 years ahead of your country, you're clearly leader. The election is only a formality. I'm saying in statecraft, in capacity to galvanize the economy and boost it. The Southeast is momentous. Peter Obi as governor of Anambra State. Sky rocketed Anambra State to the first state in education. Right now, Governor Obiano has done that. The Anambra State won the first place in school certificate examinations. We have capacity to help ourselves. We do not need the ladder. The system has jaundiced us. And it is erected intentionally to jaundice us. And our self-determination urge does not allow us to continue to patronize a system which deliberately is aimed at keeping us down.
So it would seem, yet again, that restructuring is a major, maybe it ranks highest when you talk about priorities for the Southeast. So restructuring, yes, you've talked about having a Southeast president also. That might help, but you think that restructuring is a big deal. But don't forget also, this restructuring is largely dependent on the political class. But just before we explore that, I mean, this structure, the class that you said have proven to be encumbrances to the Southeast, do they still exist? And what's the game plan?
Well, listen, you seem to keep avoiding the kernel points that I raise. To belong to a country like Nigeria, the history bears me out. It's got to be the free will of the federating unit. You don't, through a military junta, impose a constitution and force a style of government on the rest of the country. It will never endure. If it does not end in our generation, it will end in the generation of our children. And God forbid that it should move us to another civil war. I'm one of those who is opposed to anything that will bring down a breakdown of law and order in our country. And I am glad that a number of people in our country are beginning to come to terms with the reality that we have no choice other than to restructure our federation. Look, our country is failing. You know, we are in a terrible recession now. And that recession is bound to go on because the ingredients that will turn us around are structurally disadvantaged from taking possession of the driving seat of the economy. And so when we talk about restructuring, it is not a Southeast agenda. It is a condition precedent for the survival of this country. Look, my brother, look at a country like Rwanda. It used to be a beneficiary of the Nigerian Fund in the African Development Fund. It has the highest growth rate in Africa. It has a standard of living that is better than any in Africa. And yet, it was a country immersed in civil strife, ethnic differences, and unprecedented murder of its citizens. My friend, look at a country like the European country that is the greatest exporter of food in the world today. Now, this country is 34 thousand square kilometers. It is a small country in Europe. It exports $100 billion worth of food every year. And we have such food potential in Nigeria. We grow the highest volume of cassava in the world. How much of ethanol do we export? We grow about 8th largest volume of cows in Nigeria. We import milk from Holland. We don't export any butter anywhere. We have such agrarian potential for massive food production that we have not exploited in any way because government is too distant from the people. With a restructured Nigeria, people will take the initiative in their hands. Now, oil is an expiring commodity. You can see now that all over the world, not only has the demand for oil shrunk because of COVID, but it has also shrunk because of the new alternatives to oil for power. In China, Europe, and America, in the last 2 years, more electric cars have been demanded than cars whose combustion is based on fossil oil.